got a great guest to talk about some things happening in Thurston County and connections with Mason County. It's Thurston County Commissioner Bud Blake. Good morning, sir.
Hey, it's great to be here, Jeff, in Mason County.
How you doing?
Doing awesome. It's staying busy, but that's what it's all about, being engaged.
Let's start with some of the latest news that I've been reading in the Olympian and things like that. You guys, the commission has been talking about a potential convention district area. You kind of floated the idea, talked about it a little, had some public comment, decided not to put it on the November ballot. Talk to me a little bit about this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So to give a 30-second history, we saw how the population here, the general population is growing in the South Puget Sound area, and specifically in Thurston County. And the business community as a whole was very thirsty, if you will, starving quite actually, for a convention center of some sort. And we're not talking one that holds into the 25,000 range or anything like that. Maybe 1,000 or 3,000. We just felt that it was great to put that on out there for discussion with all the jurisdictions: Olympia, Lacey, Tumwater, Tenino, Rainier, and Bucota. And some of the cities opted out because it was just a little too fast when you go for as the conversation. But it's still out there. It's still a necessity that Thurston County needs this type of facility for business, recreation, nonprofit, profit, and even government. And I think it's high time that the governor and the legislation has a convention center where they can bring in business leaders and other leaders throughout the region and host it there here in our Thurston County, Mason County area. And that's what that's all about. So the discussion is still open. We don't have any idea about the location, the design, or even really how to finance it, because it could be very much done through private funds just as much as public funds. And so we just wanted to have that collegiate civil conversation.
So currently, people mostly go to St. Martin's, I guess?
Yeah, it has about 400-ish. I can't remember the exact number. And then from there, they go to DuPont, Tacoma, all up into Seattle.
They're out of the South Sound.
Right. Wow. And so we're wanting to take advantage of that, what I call the middle market.
Yeah.
And so no ill will on the 400 series or below. We want them to thrive also, but there's a market for about 1,500 to 3,000 as far as a facility that hold that many people.
And there are speakers that do the national circuit that fit that audience level. I mean, they're not like big time super Tony Robbins or something like that, but folks will come in through town and
be at university level or sports level, local sports level, something like that. Just to bring the community together in a one-stop place. And then, of course, all the economy that comes with a convention center. True, you might see the convention center empty on 1 day or 2 days, but there's other businesses that are thriving because of that. Yeah. And people are in preparation or closing as far as an event or something, and it all generates an economy, and that's what we're looking for.
Let's talk a little bit of news in South Thurston County with the pocket gopher situation. I was reading that you guys are rapidly shortening the time it takes for permits.
Yeah, that's exciting news. And just for me as the incumbent, I've been, I'll say, fighting it in terms of just strategically maneuvering and getting the right words at the right spot. So since 2015. Yeah. It was 3 visits during the building season from June to October, and now we had down to 2 visits, 2 site visits. And while that's not a home run hit out of the park, at least it's a grand slam because it shortens the cycle for 30 days and allows people to get their permits in. We could take in more permits, and the cost can go down too because of the volume of permits that come in. So that's exciting news. And the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, the feds, were on board with it. And so it's just really good communications and strategic move. To be quite honest with you, Jeff, it was the analysis and all the data that we collected very in excruciating detail for the last 2 years, previous 2 years, to be able to say there's no risk or very little bit of liability. So that's the interim, and we're also working on the overall arching plan. And we've added 2 more options here just in the last couple of days with trying to use the USDA, that's the agriculture version, and then we may just see how it blends with the Tumwater Port of Olympia HCP, the Habitat Conservation Plan, see if we can marry up and join together and do kind of a trio, if you will. I'm not quite sure where that's going to go, but those are 2 more good options. But that's just good hard work of everybody coming together at the table and and putting those numbers and words together.
It's been a long time coming.
It has. Yeah, you know it.
People have talked about that for decades.
Yeah, but
all right.
Guarantee it's number one on our list.
The other one that we have talked often about is incorporating to that Mason County, the BHO, the boo there, and what's the updates on that?
Sure. So the behavioral health organization is thriving, pushing along really well right now. What we're seeking to do by the end of this year is become a LLC, limited license company. The reason for that is because there will be a integration in 2020, meaning that MCO, I hate to be an acronym, but a managed care organization is going to come to Thurston County, Mason County area, and there'll be more private. So we're now kind of stepping back and looking at how we can be more attractive in terms of, I won't say profit in dollars, but profit in terms of good community care. Of course, there'll be a few dollars we make on the side in order to stay alive, but being as a LLC, that's what we're kind of do. We'll have licensure status, and we'll still keep the mobile crisis care, the 2 triage centers, but we want to be a part of that integrated portion. So we really think it's savvy, it's strategic in nature, and it really will help the 2 counties and keep everything we put into infrastructure and operations in the last 2 or 3 years. And that way we take care of the behavioral health and mental health here in Thurston, Mason County.
So did that transition from like some governmental operations to a private operation then?
Yeah,
is that how that works?
That's exactly it. So we go a couple of levels higher. The state, it's called the RSN, the Regional Support Network, made a strategic move about 4 or 5 years ago to hand over the mental health and chemical dependency aspect to private entities. And this happened throughout statewide. And in the interim was the creation of the BHOs as we know it. Well, we've sat down and did our homework, and we think that our BHO, which will become a BHA agency, bring that into the fold where that new private entity will say, yeah, let's you know the people very well, you know the law enforcement, you know the providers, and we would not want to get rid of you in the sense. They could go out to a contract to another one from anywhere else in the country or in the state, but I think we are set in a prime position to be a part of it and stay a part of it, because we really love taking care of Thurston Mason people.
So then can you take that and either apply it to different, I don't want to use the health and chemical dependency as an industry, but to a different sort of industry like that, or even other areas in the state, they take this model and go, boy, that worked for them. Tell me how you did it.
Yeah, it's spot on, exactly what, because we're looking at the whole person piece there, whereas the MCO would take care of the clinical, and then this LLC, the BHA, would be the behavioral health and mental health piece of it, and the two shall come together, and that's the model we're after, and hope to shine throughout the rest of the state, or the country, if will, to how to do it best.
What else has been going on with the commission?
Well, we're always into ecology and economy. We do shellfish and salmon habitat and some tourism stuff.
A lot of similarities with Mason County.
Yeah, Mason County is a wonderful place, and we love it here. And we just want to know that it's a great neighbor, and we're always there for each other. Hard times, good times, and that's what it's all about, taking care of each other. So
when does the Thurston County Commission meet?
Every Tuesday at 2 o'clock, and we welcome any kind of input, because that's what it's all about.
Thurston County Commissioner Bud Blake. It's always nice talking with you, Bud.
And roll tide.
You had to get that in, didn't you? It is 6:50. Have a good weekend.
You bet, Jeff.